Do, 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 do. That should be better. So I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm happy you reached out. You have to pronounce your name for me. Is it Junaid?
Junaid. Alavi.
Junaid. Junaid Alavi. And is it
Yeah.
Salam Alaikum or Namaste or Sat Sri Akal? How am I going to greet you?
Yeah, you can say namaste.
Namaste.
Always namaste.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you've given me.
So-
I can share screen.
Yeah, sure.
Great. In case we're talking about something, and I might have a photo or something that I can share, or some footage,
Yeah,
or
sure. Yeah,
whatever
sure.
you want.
So should I ask? Should I start?
Sure. I start whenever you like. I'll catch up.
Yeah. So first thing I'd like to ask you that how did you start the journey, your acting journey?
As far as I can remember, I wanted to be an actor. I loved being the center of attention in my family and at school, and eventually put that muscle to work, getting in stage shows and productions in school, and doing films in school with friends. And then my parents didn't really want me to become an actor, but after high school, I still pursued it. And I started just to get on the large studio sets. I started doing the background work on films like The Rose with Bette Midler and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with Peter Frampton and the Bee Gees and Alice Cooper and such. And learned that the background work is not ultimately very satisfying if you want to create a character and do some good storytelling. So I went to get training to up my credibility at the American Conservatory Theater and other universities, and then came to Hollywood screen testing for a lead in a film called War Games. And sort of took off from there. Started my first co-star role in Twilight Zone movie with John Lithgow in George Miller's segment, and worked from there.
Okay. So how Back to the Future came to you?
Well, the first film I was a big fan of. I already was a fan of Christopher Lloyd and Michael Fox, and I had worked with Crispin Glover on a film at the American Film Institute before the first film came out, so I knew him and was very proud of his work. And I had been working at Universal Studios on the tour, playing characters, classic Hollywood characters like Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy and Charlie Chaplin. And a look-alike agent called me and asked if I knew who Crispin was, and asked if I was the same height and weight, and I said no, but is this for the sequels to Back to the Future? And he wasn't allowed to tell me what it was for, but I got a meeting with the assistant directors and then went through casting auditions and screen tests for makeup and fittings for body cast for special effects. And then before I knew it, I was cast in the role. And little did I know that they didn't have Crispin. I was told I was to be a photo double. And when Crispin didn't return, I was rather shocked. I was like, how are they going to make this without him? And they ended up using his likeness in my makeup without getting the licensing or agreement from him, which later I didn't know at the time, and later found out that they didn't have his permission. So that was very touchy. But they spliced his work with my work, close-ups of him with me, knocking Biff out and kissing Lorraine, in the 1950s, and then hanging upside down in the future was meant for Crispin on his marks. He apparently overran his camera marks for focus, what have you, and they determined by hanging him upside down they could keep him on mark, and so I was hung upside down instead.
That was actually one of my favorite moment, that you are hanging upside down. So I really enjoyed that scene. So and also you have walked in Twilight Zone, so you have walked with Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg is one of my favorite directors. So how was your experience walking with Steven Spielberg?
It was okay. He did not direct my episode. George Miller, who directed Mad Max and Road Warrior. He was my director. Steven was producer on it. I've been in several films that Steven produced. He produced I Want to Hold Your Hand. Here's this photo. He produced Twilight Zone movie. He produced Back to the Future 2 and 3. So I guess I've done 4 or 5 films of Steven's, and we only spoke briefly on the Back to the Future set. So here's for those who haven't seen part 2 of Back to the Future, this is the old age George makeup.
Okay.
And you're a filmmaker too. Am I correct? Are you a filmmaker?
Okay. So you have done Back to the Future, and again obviously Pale Rider with what's it? Pale Rider. That was an awesome film, and
thank you.
I think Western. How was your experience doing in Western genre film? Because it was quite different from Back to the Future.
Yes, it was, except for part 3. Back to the Future Part 3 was a Western. I was delighted in 1984 when I was cast by Clint to be in the support role in Pale Rider. I was thrilled because I loved playing cowboys when I was growing up, and my father had been business partners with Lorne Greene from a show called Bonanza. I loved watching James Garner movies and different westerns, Gary Cooper, etc. And so to be in a Western film and to play Old West for, what was it, 5 or 6 weeks on location in Idaho, it was a thrill for me. It was really great. And the cast was an ensemble, a really lovely family. Where you had wonderful actors such as Michael Moriarty and Richard Dysart, Carrie Snodgrass, Chris Penn, Richard Keel, Richard Hamilton, John. I'm going to forget his name. The main bad guy. All the bad guys too were very accomplished actors. It was John Russell who led them. Really lovely people, lovely hardworking actors. Everyone honed their craft and I thought came up with really wonderful performances. Bruce Surtees, our cinematographer, had the gift wherever he put his camera. He had these breathtaking mountains, these vistas, the Sawtooth Mountains, the White Cloud Mountains, the Salmon River Mountains. It was just gorgeous to see on the big 70 millimeter big screen, though the interiors were a little dark. That was my only criticism. And Clint was a very focused director. He would often shoot our rehearsals, and sometimes he wouldn't even do a take because he liked what he saw in the rehearsal that he shot, and we could move on. So he was economic. He saved, I'm sure, a lot of time that way,
Yeah.
and we also got delayed by blizzards shutting down production for 3 days or more. From time to time, we had different obstacles, like any production. Clint's horse
Yeah.
stepped into a gopher hole in the snow, and he fell and dislocated his collarbone or broke ribs or something.
Yeah.
And I know he was in a lot of pain for a while. I became very close to Carrie Snodgrass, the lead actress, right away, because we had mutual friends, and she was very headstrong, very focused on how she perceived her character, and she butted heads from time to time with Clint and Michael Moriarty over activities that she wanted to do,
Okay.
her choices, and they would shut her down. She almost quit the film a few times, and I would console her and let her vent and talk her into staying with the film. So it was a a really exciting time. It was a very fun, creative project to be a part of.
Yeah.
What have you directed?
So
Have
yeah.
you got some films under your belt?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would like to ask that you have a special relationship with all the Back to the Future cast, and I've seen somewhere that you are you and the cinematographer Dane Kundy, they are you both are very really good friends together,
Yes.
and and Dane Kundy, I'm a really great admirer of Dane Kundy because he has done whether Jurassic Park or any other blockbuster movies. So how do you see the difference between those 80s movies and the movies of of this era? How do you see the difference? What are the differences you see at that era movies, at 80s movies and now movies?
Well, I'd like to go back further. The late '60s, early '70s, the movies,
Yeah.
the independent filmmakers seem to be on a
Yeah.
more level playing field with the big studio movies. There seemed to be a great deal of great storytelling and integrity with the independent filmmakers, whereas as now the independent filmmakers seem to be scooped up by the studios much quicker and almost processed
Yeah.
into the machine where they're making maybe
Yeah.
not so great quality of content with comedy, the situation comedies, the rom-coms, these things often are
Yeah.
scatological and lowbrow, not a lot of intelligence. Some have integrity and care, but the studio doesn't seem to me to take as much quality and care with the storytelling that the indies did, say, in those early 70s, mid
Yeah.
70s. Then in the 80s, when we started leaning towards the fun, campy stuff for kids in outer
Yeah.
space, or Ghostbusters, or the very commercially successful stuff, uh,
Yeah.
the studios seem to pick that sort of, I want to say, cookie cutter. Is it going to be a box office draw? The bottom line often, you kind of disappeared. Anyway, continuing, I see now with the advent of CGI, uh, a lot more sensational film and such. Gosh, I'm here alone. Well, now that we're alone here together, I could show you a few things I think that I was trying to show earlier. Let's see. Let me know. Can you see this? This is if you can see it, I'm trying to show a picture of me doing the fight from Back to the Future Part 2 in the young George makeup with Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Can you see the share? The film,
Yeah.
the screen share? Good. Welcome back. We lost you for a minute.
Yeah.
But you're back now.
That.
I tried to keep your viewers entertained there. almost got up to do a song and dance.
Okay. So one of my friend is saying that Jeffrey sir used to have that cool smile back then when you were in Back to the Future.
I smiled as often as I could. It was very long hours, and some of the scenes, because we had Michael J. Fox only on evenings and weekends. He was shooting his final season of Family Ties during the day. Some of the weekends we'd shoot almost straight through. I remember one week in the Hill Valley 2015 McFly home, I had a 19-hour day, a 21-hour day, a 26-hour-long day. So it was very, very long days, and hanging upside down for all that time was quite a trial. But I'd find time to smile. I was working. I was very happy about that.
Yeah. Okay. So I have seen that there are a lot of walks of prosthetics. So how tough it was walking with all those prosthetics.
Well, it wasn't so terribly tough in that as an actor, you put on a character. You find the face, you find the mask of a character, and the makeup really helps you find the character. In my case, the character had been laid down before me. In the case of Back to the Future, the only, I think, real challenge is that it takes generally 3.5 to 4 hours a day to get into the makeup. Another hour at the end of the day to take the makeup off. But it was very much like wearing a mask, and seeing my work in the mirror. I was able to study Crispin's posture, his vocal placement, and his mannerisms. So it was like, "Hey, you, get your damn hands!" He had a very signature delivery that was not very hard for me to imitate, which is what they needed for the production. When I play Stanley Laurel or Charlie Chaplin or Larry Fine of the Three Stooges or Groucho Marx or more recently Mark Twain, I have my hair long for Mark Twain right now. I try to do just that. I find whatever resources are extant to learn about their private life, their performance, public life, and then their physicalizations, and then some psychology, and put the character together that way. I can show you pictures of those characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Right. I have a whole file of them. Let's see.
Yeah. So So I would like to ask that we have done so many walks there. So do you have any interest in walking in India?
Oh yeah, I love going to other countries, and I always had a desire to come work in Bollywood. This is Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you watch any Bollywood film?
Yes, in fact I remember meeting a little tiny. Give me a second. I'm working at Universal Studios once as Laurel and Hardy, and this little diminutive East Indian woman comes up to me and says, I know your work very much. I'm a beautician, and my sister and I have sung in over 10,000 movies, and gave me a card. And I immediately realized I'd heard this woman sing in different Bollywood films. She and her sister have that very high-pitched, singular delivery. And so it was really thrilling to meet her. I thought I thought at one point I was going to get to India to do some work, but it didn't pan out. This is me as Charlie Chaplin. Hope you can see that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then did you show were you able to show the Laurel and Hardy?
Yeah.
I had the Laurel and Hardy shot up. Were people able to see that?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah, yeah. Please say. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the opportunity to go abroad from the United States to make movie magic comes up, I would jump on it. I love to work. I love storytelling and being a part of ensembles and great casts and crew. It's in my bones.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, I would like to invite you here, and please come whenever you feel free. Please come and visit India. We'll make a
I'm on my
movie
way.
together. We'll make yeah.
Wait, should I start packing?
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, do I have to quarantine?
Please, no. I mean, yeah. It's almost lockdown is almost going to over. So yeah, you can visit here. Obviously, we're waiting for you. You can visit here, and we can make a movie together. Because I'm myself as a filmmaker, so we'll make a movie together, and that
Yes.
will be really fun.
Well, tell me what you've made. What I notice on your YouTube there are parts of other films and such. Are you the director of those films? Have you been directing long?
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever visit India?
Not yet. I made it as close as the South China Sea. I've been to Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and Singapore, but did not make it to India yet. My wife and I would
You
love
have to make it. Please come.
as soon
Please
as
come over
possible.
here. We'll make a movie together. Yeah.
I do a lot of stage work. Also here, I've played. You ever see the Robin Williams movie, The Fisher King? I played his role
Yeah.
on stage in a version of Fisher King, which was very rewarding, extremely fun and hard work, but really a rewarding show. I played Igor in the musical version of Young Frankenstein. I do Shakespeare. I try to keep working as much as possible. During the pandemic here, though, live in-person theater is just starting to begin again, and
Yeah, I've seen doing all those stuff. I was following you on Instagram, and you have shared a lot of images, and you were just doing some role plays kind of thing, and that was
right.
amazing. And
For your
yeah.
your audience, you can follow me on Instagram. I think it's at Jeffrey J. Weissman. On Twitter, it's at Jeff J1F Weissman. On Facebook, my fan page is at Jeffrey Weissman Actor.
Yeah.
And then I think I have a Jeffrey Weissman on TikTok too. I'm starting to do little TikTok movies.
Okay. So last but not the least, I would like to ask, what are your favorite movies, and what are the roles you would like to explore in future?
Since I was a kid, I was a big fan of the James Bond movies. I didn't like so much the kind of campy Roger Moore period, though I've gone back and enjoyed them more recently. And of course, the Roger Craig.
Okay.
Looking forward to October for his last installment. I'm sorry, Daniel Craig, not Roger Craig. Hello. And I love adventure films. Harry Potter's and the Pirates of the Caribbean. These films that take you out of your reality. The Back to the Future does just that as well. They kind of get you out of your struggles in everyday life and are a great escape. And those kind of films I thrill at. But then again, I love really good drama and good comedy. It's very hard for me to pick specific titles. I mean, I have so many that I enjoy. Committed performances with a balanced, talented cast that are supporting each other in a good story with a good direction. That's my fave.
Okay. So, what is the last film you have watched?
The last film I watched, let's see, Queen's Gambit.
Okay. Did you like it?
I'm trying to get my old brain working now, and I'm thinking about what I watched just recently.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
That's bad.
Well, you got me. I had to go ask my wife, and she couldn't remember either. Well, it was a period piece on Netflix, and we thought it was okay. I don't remember though. It must not have been so great because I can't remember. You kind of got me. It's not preoccupied. Yeah.
Okay. So that was I was asking this question that the last film you have watched, you have already said it, and that's why I was asking this question, that what are the differences you see that era and this era, because I really miss those 80s pop culture movies. I really miss. I do. Although I was not born in that era, but still I may feel very nostalgic, and I really want to experience that kind of movies again.
Are you excited?
What is your on this?
I'm excited for the new Ghostbusters sequel because it looks like a throwback to the original.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the new Dune film coming, and I mentioned the James Bond movie. It's good when they're able to redefine and rediscover using the old thing that you love, and that's going to be a blast. All of those are going to be a blast. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I mean, please say that. Do you feel that all those new franchise films are killing that old kind of cinema? Do you feel that?
Well, there's with shows like Stranger Things, they're capitalizing on that nostalgia. The comic book superheroes films seem to be capitalizing on the love of the comic books and that fantasy, and with the advent of such great ability with CGI, and now they have been throwing back somewhat to models. I have a lot of friends who were model builders, and those first 3 Star Wars films in particular were based on great model work, and then they moved to CGI, and now it seems the nostalgia is bringing the model work back somewhat. It's integrating with the CGI, and it's good to see the old school kind of get some work again.
I mean, so actually, recently we got a little controversy because Martin Scorsese, so he has said something about all those Marvel movies and especially superhero movies, that they're really killing the experience of cinema or something.
Well, you can't. I think Scorsese's kind of. I don't. I want to criticize him because I don't know the quote verbatim, but there's a lot of great entertainment with Suicide Squad and the various Spider-Man and films have a lot of great escapism and just overwhelming special effects, mind numbing and body numbing from the experience. And so I can't really put that down. I mean, it can be incredibly entertaining. But on the other hand, though, I understand, I think what he's getting at is that the intimacy and the craft with the hands-on, the model making, and the simple storytelling without all the flash and is kind of falling between the cracks. Though once again, I am a romanticist and like films that are simple stories, romantic or murder mystery, or even a classical piece, based on a Shakespeare, what have you.
Yeah. So, recently I've seen that Steven Spielberg is making the West Side Story, the official remake of West Side Story. So, are you excited about that movie?
No, I loved the first. I was a little boy when the first West Side Story came out, and I loved that film. I wished he hadn't touched it, but I am happy to see that he's using Jerome Robbins' choreography and that Rita Moreno is in it, and it looks very much like the original. The original, though, was a fantastic film. I didn't think it needed to be redone, but Hollywood does that. They don't trust new stuff, and they want to make remake the old stuff. I think Spielberg right now is casting around for his autobiography. That should be interesting. Steve and I were like this, although I'm not sure who's who.
Okay. So, my last question would be: who is your favorite filmmaker and who is your favorite actor?
Oh boy! Once again, I have many favorites. I like a lot of the French filmmakers, and I like Italian filmmakers. I like a lot. I just like film, and it's hard for me to say, oh, my very favorite is. I should have answers for these already. I do so many podcasts and such where I'm asked these things, and I always get tripped up because I haven't really a definitive favorite. I love the French New Wave. I love the Italians like Fellini and Bertolucci and.
So I'm making it easy for you. Which genre is your favorite genre?
My favorite genre? Good storytelling.
Yeah.
Good storytelling. I love it.
Storytelling. I mean,
but if it's a science fiction,
I love
if it's science fiction and it's a good story, I love it. If it's a romantic story and it's good storytelling, I love it. With some surprises and hopefully a moral of the story, something that makes you think or enlightens humanity or creates awareness of things that are of oppression. This sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm asking all those because maybe I will cast you in my next film, so that's why I'm asking your favorite things.
Well, when directors writers, producers want me to work, I need to read the script, and if I find that the script is compelling, has a story that is going to show an arc of a character, enlightening themselves or others, I love that. If the story is missing something, if I feel like there could be more going on, and the writer is open to collaboration, I'll ask. I'll say, don't you see this might possibly help things elevate the danger, or make the risk higher to get the attention and empathy of the audience more. It's a wonderful business, especially when it's collaborative.
I'll keep them everything in my mind. So I would like to again, I'm saying that I would like to say my last question, but still, because I'm having you right now and all those questions are coming up in my head. So my last question would be, do you feel that, what are the impacts that that you have got in your life while making movies? How cinema changed your life?
Well, here I'm sharing a shot of me watching my character watching my daddy being shot in Pale Rider, and what changed for me, say doing Pale Rider, I for really the first time had some incredibly good moments of emotional content up on the big screen, which was an integral part of the story, which inspired bringing Daddy's dead body back to Clint's character, inspires him to go get revenge for all these good guys, and feeling that kind of power. The first time my character appears in the film, I'm playing kind of a half-wit, and I repeat a line that was just said by the character of my brother down the road to Michael Moriarty's character, "Ain't that kind of dumb?" And when I was in the audience watching it, and the audience around me is laughing at my work, that moved me in such a nice way. It was first and foremost fulfilling to be entertaining all these strangers, and then being a part of a great story, and also being a part of a film that was the highest grossing Western of the 1980s. It's incredible, and gave me a lot of confidence. It was something that I strove a long, hard time training and making sacrifices in my life to be in the right place at the right time to get that opportunity. It's an incredibly difficult industry. There's a lot of people wanting to do what I do or what you do, and unfortunately, a lot of people see it as a competition. And if there was a way to not see it as a competition, but rather as a collaborative craft, I think you go a lot farther. You don't seem so desperate, and people want to work with you. So I teach actors, and I teach writers and directors how to work with actors or collaborate on scripts and so on and so forth. And for me, that's incredibly rewarding to see my students or mentorees go to Hollywood or elsewhere and work and create good storytelling, do fine performances or excellent directing. For me, that's a great pay, much more than financial. Not that the financial isn't appreciated, but it's that's the reward. Is I don't get cast very much. I'm outside of Hollywood because of, I think, the whole Back to the Future controversy. But I still work, and happy to come work on a project with you. Just you know how to get a hold of me. Send me a script when you're ready, and then you got to pay my day rate.
I will send you a script. I'll send you, because I also love storytelling. Personally, I love, because I've started making movies when I was just 13 or 14. So I love storytelling. So I was just, I will send you a beautiful script, which will be, character centric. There will be a lot of arc about characters, and it will be a science fiction film. So yeah, yeah, because I love science fiction, and
Fun.
I think you will agree that you will love science fiction too.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I'm really honored that you came here, and still I couldn't believe my eyes that I'm talking to you right now. So thanks a lot. Thanks. I just say thanks a lot.
You're welcome, and thank you. I love encouraging and inspiring. If in fact we do collaborate on something, I think that would be outrageously wonderful. And if you even if it doesn't work out, hopefully I'll get to India, and with a Comic-Con or personal appearance, and we get to meet and have dinner.
Yeah. Always welcome. Please come to India, and I'm you have to come here quickly, because I'm waiting for you. And whenever you're visiting India, just call me or tell me that I will pick you up. Yeah.
Shukriya.
Yeah. You know all the things. You know Hindi.
Namaste.
Namaste. Okay. Namaste. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It's because it's 11:16 p.m.
It's like
here. So
time for bed. My day's
say
just
good
getting
night.
started.
I'm going to go.
I'll see you in the future.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
Be well.
Yeah.